all
I don't know about
stations.
quality,
Stand
but
by for an incoming radio transmission.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. I'm Bob, K6UDA call sign. K6UDA, that's the ham radio call sign. Let's see, I guess I just want to say welcome back. Can you guys mute yourselves? And welcome back to YouTube, I guess. We are live. We're live here on Rumble. That's the main home. I've also recreated the Idaho Preparedness channel over on YouTube, repurposed another old channel that I had. And I started posting some stuff over there. It's not getting a lot of traction, and that's okay. Let's see, who do we have in the house? Looks like we've got 5 people. I'm gonna run over here, and I don't know if that's. Let's see. I don't even know how to figure out how many people we got in the house here. I am looking over. If you're whatever you're on, just give a shout out and let us know kind of what's where you're at. Let's see. Looks like I see 9, 10 of us over here in Rumble. If you're on Rumble, say hi. Just say hi. If you're one of the new, if you're on YouTube, if you're on the YouTube side there, I'm not really seeing, it doesn't give my count. I'm not seeing that. But, you know what, is what it is. And then X, we're over here on X, and we're live over there. Looks like I've got 6 on X watching. Boy, things ain't looking. It's a little bit. Okay, guys, first of all, this is why I go live at 8:45. We just hit the live and we just BS for a few minutes. I've got both Terry and Jeff in the house today. We're going to go to them in just a minute. Here's the deal. We do this, we go early so I could work out all the little bugs, because every freaking day there's some kind of little bugs. KK7RDO, good morning. I see you in the house. I'm going to put up. Look at that. Welcome to the show, Idaho Preparedness Channel. There it is. All right, I've got I do actually have my my comments and reactions on YouTube. See, that's amazing. Ecamm, this is the program that I use, and well, you know what? Let's just go over here. We'll say hi to everybody. You guys can unmute yourselves now if you want. We have Jeff. Jeff is not
morning.
unmuted. Yep, everybody's unmuted themselves. Jeff in the what are you in Michigan, Illinois?
That's correct.
All right, Jeff in Michigan, Illinois. Terry, right here locally, in the grand scheme of the world, right around the corner from me. uh, grand scheme of the world about next door. Um, so let's take a quick look. We've got comments and reactions over there. Man. All right. This is why we go early. In just a few minutes at 9 o'clock, we'll start the net. And if you're watching for the very first time here, or you haven't been around lately, we run the very first part of this net is actually done on ham radio because we are preparing for a time when maybe your normal avenues of getting news and information aren't available. Maybe there's a big disaster and things go down. Parts of the internet go down. Maybe, just maybe, the other side, the evil side that's run by Satan himself, maybe they come back into power, and all of a sudden, information that we've become accustomed to becomes outlawed. And I have no doubt that if they ever, Terry, you could back me up on this, if they ever come back into power, do you think for a second that they won't ramp the tyranny up, ban all our voices on as many platforms as they possibly can in the shortest amount of time? They won't lose any they won't lose any time shutting us up.
Not 1 minute. Not 1 minute. In fact, it's interesting because up in Canada, they're making a law prohibiting Christians from praying outside the house. So if you and I were standing on the corner and you said, "Man, I need prayer," I'm not allowed to pray for you. Right? Just doesn't matter. Not a rioting, not doing anything other than just, "Hey, will you pray for me, man? I'm just going through some tough times or whatever." Can't do it. Get arrested.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
And
I
that,
mean that's shocking.
yeah,
That
that's just Canada,
is,
right?
and
Right up the
that's
street.
right next door,
Yep.
Canada, which everybody just kind of thought of Canada as almost the 51st state.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean that is insane that they're doing that. Let's see. I need to get this. Let's see. We got 5 minutes. So, all right, Terry, what's been going on in your world? And then, hey, and then Jeff, you too.
Well, for me, as you know, I study and follow end times. It's something that I enjoy doing, but I'm just amazed that every single day I am watching something that I can look over to the Bible and see that this is something that was going to be happening and coming and all that here towards the end of the time. And so it's fascinating to try to keep up with it, and everybody's talking about Trump and the peace treaty or the peace, whatever they're calling it, over with the Hamas and all that. So, and then also another thing is watching United Nations saying that by the end of this year, you're not going to be able to work over, not United Nations, over in England, that area. You're not going to be able to get a job unless you have a digital ID, things like
Oh,
that. That's working right towards the mark of the beast. It's not the mark of the beast yet, but it's working towards that, developing what needs to be developed in order for that to function. And they're going to require that.
yeah. I
Things are just
mean, we are quickly moving toward toward that model. I think they're just trying to gear everybody up. You know, years and years ago, it was your ATM card. People thought, well, that might be the ticket, and now it's everybody's got their digital wallet on their phone, and now they actually want to implant your digital wallet surgically somewhere like in your hand or your forehead or something. And once that's there, we'll have that discussion another time. Because that's a whole thing unto itself. Jeff on Rumble, we got a couple of mentions in there. Good morning from
Yeah, we got a few. We got Terry's in there, KK7, Cigar Dan, Gary003. On YouTube, we got Russell Thomas, we got Chuck, and I'm not even going to say your last name because I don't want to butcher it, but good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being part of the net. Jeff, what's up in your world lately?
Uh, just same as usual, just working, planning on making the trip back to Florida at the end of the month, and looking forward to getting down there because it's starting to get a little cold up here in Michigan.
Yeah, it's well, we got below 50 degrees last night, I think for the first time since summer broke. And so I know that's the signal. I think it's going to start getting cold here. And actually, they were saying something about snow, um, and early and kind of deep snow here coming up. All right, we've got about a minute or less, and then we're going to actually start the net. And like I said, guys, I start the net on the radio. So if you haven't been here for a while, we're going to switch screens here, go to the net proper screen here so everybody that's watching here can see what's on the radio, what's going on the radio. On the left hand, the top part of your screen is my digital dashboard. Everybody that checks in on the radio, their call signs, well, most of them will show up there. And then the chat. So if you enter something into the chat while we're on the radio, we can get that out to the radio folks and vice versa. So everybody's talking to everybody. And with that, all right. Good morning. Make sure I've got the mic. Welcome to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net on Bob K6UDA, your net control this morning. This net meets every Saturday morning at 0900 hours Mountain Time on the K6UDA repeater located deep within the Southern Idaho Command. This is a digital radio net accessible via Wires X Room 40448 and YSF Reflector 40448, both known as the Idaho Command. Also available on the Hanson Butte 2-meter Fusion Repeater 145.170, and local hams with analog radios can also participate using the KB7 DFP repeater on 442.000. That is All-Star and Echolink. The purpose of this net is the free exchange of information related to emergency preparedness, commonly known as prepping. We encourage deep dives into subjects related to food, water, shelter, personal protection, weapons, survival tactics, medical issues, communication gear, and techniques. I'm always looking for subject matter experts to lead discussions on all these various subjects. If you have material you'd like to present or discuss, when you check in, please indicate that you have a subject. Although not primarily political, discussion of relevant political, cultural, or religious events are welcome in the context of situational awareness and survival. As part of my preparedness plan, practicing for and gathering and dissemination of important news and information to my friends, family, and the local community is what this whole net is all about. So, as training, we do the sit rep section or situation reports every week. While times are good, I'm using general news stories that I find interesting, and I ask everyone here to contribute their own stories or sit reps, especially if they are in or near an affected area of an actual emergency. In order to give everyone an opportunity to be heard, I'm going to do check-ins and comments in the following order. We'll do local repeater check-ins, Wires X check-ins, YSF check-ins, and then we'll get to some live stream comments. You're encouraged to check in with your first name, call sign, location, and how you're getting onto the net, i.e. the local repeater, Wires X or YSF. That being said, do we have any local repeater check-ins? Okay. All right. Well, hopefully I'm going out over the air locally. Do we have any Wires X check-ins? Wires X, check, come now.
W6CJ in Northeast Los Angeles, Wires X node covering Northeast LA and Pasadena.
All right. Good morning, Jay. Thanks for joining the net. Do you have any traffic for the net or any sit reps when we get to that section?
Yeah, I got some set reps tied in with the topics that you suggested.
Fantastic. I will bring that all back to you when we get to sit reps in just a minute. Looking for check-ins to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Come now, this is K6UDA. Looking for right now Wires X check-ins. Come now.
This is W0SUN in Denver. This is Bucky coming in on Wires X. Got a high profile node and a repeater here in Denver.
Well, good morning, Bucky. Thank you for joining the net, and thanks for being here. Do you have any traffic for the net, or are you going to have any sit reps?
I have no traffic for the net. I might have a comment or two maybe, but no traffic at this time. Back to net, W0SUN.
All right, Bucky. Thanks again for checking in. Looking for check-ins on the Wires X nodes. Come now. This is K6UDA. Okay.
Kilo Victor 4 Sierra, KV4S, Russell in Chelsea, Alabama. No traffic for the net. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, Russell, and thanks for joining the net. All the way from Alabama. I think you might be the only Alabama station that we've got coming into the net. But thank you. And I copied no traffic from you. Check-ins on the Wires X side. Come now. So we have 10 nodes connected right now. And I would imagine we should get at least 10 check-ins from the Wires X side. But we'll open it up right now to YSF. YSF check-ins come now.
And the 70 is a PD, that's for Oregon, no traffic.
All right, and 7 RBP Bob in Medford. Good to hear you, and thanks for checking in. Copied no traffic. I got a click from KB7DFP, or somebody on the DFP side. Go ahead.
Alpha KB7DFT, no traffic.
All right, Ken, welcome to the net. Thanks for checking in, and thanks for the use of your repeater during the nets. Looking for check-ins. We'll just open it up. Anybody, anywhere.
Kilo 297, Romeo Alpha, Romeo Terry, Twin Falls. A uniform, Spokane, Washington. I'm brand spanking new to Fusion, so I'm not sure how I'm getting to you.
Oh,
Number 8, Romeo, Quebec, Tango, Charlie, Cincinnati, Ohio, and just wanted to make a comment about the antics that Facebook is currently doing.
all right. Let's see. We've got, whoa, I'm stepping on somebody else. All right. I guess we could call this a quality problem. We've got several in there. I show on the screen KM7CCU, N8RQT with traffic, KB7SQS or somebody on there, and KJ7RAR. Oh, and a KI7 CDG SAM in there. Let's go ahead and we'll start. I'm going to start backwards here, and I'm going to call on KM7CCU. Go ahead. Your name, your location, how you're getting in, and well, we know it's YSF. And if you have any traffic.
Yeah, KM7CCU. Yeah, I'm brand new to Fusion. I'm currently on what I have labeled as Fairchild Air Force Base. It's a repeater in Spokane, Washington. My name is Lance, and I do not have any traffic.
All right, Lance. Well, thank you for joining the net, and just thanks for being here. Always a pleasure to have new people to Fusion, new people to the net, and I hope you could stick around for the whole thing, or you could jump on one of the platforms that we're on for the live stream portion of it after we break from the radio portion. Moving on, N8RQT. Go ahead and take one.
Yes, this is N8RQT, Cincinnati. I'm getting to you by way of YSF. Instead of doing Wires X today, I wanted to try my M1KE. Now, as far as Facebook is randomly canceling people. People that are even paying for premium status on Facebook with no way to appeal. You can't log in. You can't do anything to authenticate yourself. There's no appeal. You're just getting canceled. And currently there's, I couldn't tell you the website, but there's a site that has a petition of about 50,000 people that this has happened to.
Wow.
Myself, I have an account that I use for certain things that I don't have anything, a public presence per se, but I do get on there to acquire information and belong to certain users groups. But my wife, she can't even join it. Every time she tries to go on, they're like, "You're banned, lifetime ban, no appeal, no nothing." So yes, to your point, I think that the social media companies are practicing lying in wait to resurrect, and we need to be ready with the alternative platforms to continue on at the moment anything may switch. I need our QT back to net.
All right. Hey, thank you for that information. That's pretty disturbing information. And you know what? I'm gonna look into that some more because that may affect, well, it actually does affect at least one of us here on the net. And might come to affect me fairly soon. Let's see who else do we have in there. KB7SQS, or whoever was in his system. Go ahead and take a turn. K6UDA.
KB7SQS lands in Twin Falls on YSF on the M1KE as well. And, you know, social media, we didn't have it when we were born. Why the hell do we need it anymore? The hell with Facebook, that's what I say. Anyway, that's all I got, Bob. KB7SQS.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I do definitely kind of agree. And by the way, both of you two, fantastic sound out of the M1KE. And I just got one a little while ago, and I'll do a review on it. And man, I'm so impressed with hearing both of you guys on that device. Let's see. KI7CDG. Sam, did I get to you already?
Not yet. Good morning from Waterville. Got nothing for the net this time.
All right, Sam. Hey, what state is Waterville in, by the way?
Washington. If you put your finger about dead center on the state, you'll be pretty close.
All right, gotcha, my friend. Hey, thank you, and thanks for checking in. Let's see. KJ7RAR Terry is in the house, checked in on the radio, but hey, he'll be with us live here in just a minute. So as soon as we clear the radio, looking for check-ins to the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. Come now.
KK7 ELZ.
All right, KK7ELZ. Good morning. Your name and where you out of?
Name here is Rick, and I am in Spokane, Washington.
Oh, that is awesome. You guys definitely there in the Spokane area. You're making your presence known here. Thank you guys for joining in. Let's see. Is there any other check-ins for the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net? And then we're going to get right into sit reps. Okay, hearing none. Let's see. You know what? In response to Lance's comment about, hey, we don't need social media. To be fair, let's see. Howling Mad Z said, to be fair, social media did help with some truth come out, and yeah, and that's true. And if it wasn't for some of the social media, um, I don't know where we would be right now. We might be under some very dark tyranny. Anyway, we're going to move on to the sit rep section, and this is what I would call our general news and information right now. I'm going to let it drop. And normally I lead off my sit reps with a more global news story, and I work my way down to local. But I am pissed today, and I did a video on this just yesterday or the day before in Jerome County, which is right across the river from Twin Falls County, where I live, and where the other repeaters here are. On September 29th, Jerome County Board of Commissioners in Idaho unanimously voted to prohibit weapons, including concealed carry firearms, inside the Jerome County Administration Building at 300 North Lincoln Avenue. Policy took effect on October 1st in response to heightened security concerns following recent events and consultations with their county attorney and the sheriff's office. I went into this in great detail, and I had a guest on, and I invite you guys to watch that video if you're here in the Magic Valley, or if you're in some other place that is struggling with the possibility of losing some of your constitutional rights. And so I'm not going to really go into it here, but I had laid out what the laws are. They're actually breaking the law. They're breaking Idaho Code 18 3302J, 100% just thumbing their nose at state code. And there is a process to recall county commissioners, and I've detailed that in my video too. I invite you all to go watch that one on Rumble, here on Rumble, on the I believe on my Guns and Ham radio channel, and over there on YouTube on the Idaho Preparedness channel. Over on YouTube, I posted it. Let's see. Now we're gonna get back to the world events. Okay. In the world, at least 2 people were killed on Thursday following an attack by a single man wearing an IED belt who stabbed 4 people at a synagogue in Manchester, UK on Yom Kippur. That's the Jewish high holiday. And that is typically a time where synagogues get attacked and Jews get attacked all over the world. It's kind of been the way it is for for a long, long time. In the U.S., I wanted to go through a couple of the attacks and riots just for the week of September 28th through October 4th of 2025. September 28th, Sacramento, California, my old hometown. Shots fired into an ABC TV studio after the Jimmy Kimmel show was suspended. ABC and Disney caved in, put Kimmel back on the air, and now he's back to, his normal 100,000 people watching nationwide. If that, I guess. September 28th in New Hampshire, gunmen shouting "Free Palestine" opened fire, killing one guest. He was tied to a pro-Hamas activism amid U.S. Gaza protests. September 29th in Orem, Utah, explosive device planted beneath a Fox affiliated vehicle during a Charlie Kirk vigil. No detonation. DHS attributed to left wing extremists celebrating Kirk's earlier assassination on September 10th. I'm going to let it drop. September 29th, in Boston, Antifa group violently interrupted a memorial for Charlie Kirk, assaulting attendees and police. There was multiple arrests. September 30th, in Florida, left-wing protester attacked event organizers with pepper spray and fists. One was hospitalized. Local police charged the suspect with a hate-motivated assault tied to anti-conservative ideology. September 30th in New York, far left activists shoved a State Department aide protesting U.S. Israel policy, part of a pro Palestinian rally that turned violent. And October 1st in Portland, Oregon, they had the second night of violent riots. Protesters blocked freeways, set vehicles ablaze, and assaulted officers. DHS deployed additional resources, and it's linked to the broader 2025 wave of 1,000% increase in ICE attacks. I'm going to let it drop again. And finally, the war on conservatives is still raging in Portland. Portland police have now arrested the man in the the white Freedom t-shirt, who was merely defending himself from an attack by an Antifa member. That was yesterday, I believe, or the other night in a brawl outside an ICE building. Yeah, Portland police arrested the victim because it's easy to do that. They've admitted that it's just easier to do that, but they have filed charges against him. All right. W6CJ J in Los Angeles. You had a sit rep.
Yeah, good morning, Bob and Annette, W6CJ. Yeah, a couple things. I copied your email with your idea for discussion. Yes, I've reevaluated some of my prepping needs here, and probably the first thing that comes to mind is health and nutrition issues. If you have people in your family with special nutritional needs, or elders or young people with health or medical issues, that's primary importance. But let me give the airplane analogy. If you're sitting in an airplane and you need to put on your mask first if the cabin loses pressure, so you can help the people next to you. So you have to be in good health to take care of your family and those around you. So
yeah, you really got to watch what you eat. And if it reads like a hazmat list, I wouldn't buy it. And take care of your family. Let me reset. And I'm reevaluating also my situational awareness. I live in a suburban area, but I'm real close to urban LA. And LA is a horizontal city. Freeways go everywhere, so nobody is truly isolated here. I don't care if you live in a gated community. Nobody's isolated. So we need to be more cognizant of the small stuff too, not just watching your back, but the symbols around you. For example, I saw an Antifa decal on a vehicle parked in somebody's house 3 blocks away. So that kind of situational awareness is important. Might not be a bad idea to geotag questionable spots in your neighborhood and community. That's all I have.
Oh, hang on. Got to pick up the mic. All right, Jay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Does anybody else have any sit reps for the good of the order? Anybody have any late check-ins? All right. With that, then I am going to close out the radio portion, the ham radio portion of this net. Thank you all. Thank all the nodes. Thank all the stations for spending your time and your resources joining the net, listening, and participating. I want to thank everybody and say 7-3. I am. This is Bob, and I'm returning all of the ham radio stations to their normal ham radio use. Just remember, if you want to stay on and you want to listen on YouTube, Rumble, or X, you can do that, and you can always break in on the radio, and we'll and get your point in. This is Bob, and wish you all 7-3. Okay. Well, then that takes care of the radio portion of the net, and I want to say hello. Let's we've got Jeff and Terry in the house today, and good morning, guys. How are
Morning.
you?
Morning.
Man, main topic. Good to kind of see more people in there right now. Let's see. Oh, I see the fire guy is in there on YouTube. That is awesome. We got a few new people over there watching on on YouTube. Hang on here. I'm just trying to guys, you got to understand, I'm pressing buttons. I'm doing a lot of stuff over here trying to run a 3-ring circus and control everything. So sometimes my mind don't work as quick as it used to. And I've got a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Terry, how about you? How's it going?
It's going good. You know, I was thinking about this thing that the guy on the radio was talking about in Portland, where he was arrested and the bad guys, of course, weren't. And you know, you have to be amazed at what's happening. I mean, I used to be a Portland cop. Can you imagine that? I'm so glad during my period of time we were allowed to be policemen, and it's amazing. But you're going to see more and more of this, where you see the innocents are going to be arrested and tried, and the bad guys are. I mean, think about for a minute. You have the guys dressed up in black outfits, looking like warriors, and they can pretty much do anything they want. I wouldn't doubt that they're being paid to be there and to be violent. I think they don't give a hoot about the Palestinians, most of them. Their interest is just being violent, tearing things down, getting to assault the cops. And in my opinion, all of us have been cops at one time there. And I think we both realize, or all realize, that until they start arresting these people and putting them in jail, it's just going to continue on. I mean, think about how much fun it is to go and fight and spit at the cops and do all this and not, and go home and say, "Hey, man, look what I did," But when they start going to jail for a couple of years, maybe they'll start thinking or whether or not that's fun or not. But in those sanctuary cities, it's not going to happen. That's why Trump is going in there and trying to do his best to calm these things down. These poor ICE agents. Hey, did you notice that they're giving a $50,000 bonus if you want to be an ICE agent?
Really?
You think we're too old? I'm only 75. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to chase somebody down, but I could certainly throw a rock back at them.
Yeah. I don't know if there's enough money to make me want to get back in that business.
Yeah, I bet.
Who knows? Now I'm just an old man now. So, but $50,000 bonus. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
and
Yeah.
some good
To
benefits.
become a to become a spittoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think at some point, um, the tide turns. Either that.
Portland police are a disgrace to the badge.
Yes. Yes, Lance. They are. It's. I can't believe that they're doing that. They're just kind of caving into the political side of their city, and that is. Um. Yeah,
What
that
did
was
Lance say?
Lance. That was Lance
Yeah,
on
what
the
did he say?
radio.
Hey, what did he say? I didn't hear what he said.
He said Portland police are a disgrace to the badge,
Yeah,
and they are.
Only current ones, not
Yeah.
past.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, the cops don't have a choice. I mean, the city council, the mayor, tells them what they're going to do, and unless they want to just say, "Hey, the hell with you," and do what they should do, and then so I feel bad for them because if I was there, I'd want to be over there doing what I need to do, but they're not allowed to. So I mean,
Right.
what do you do?
Right.
You know,
I mean, they're completely hamstrung, and
They have a choice. K87 SQS cleared.
yeah, they do have a choice. They absolutely do have a choice. You can refuse. You're actually under the Constitution. You are bound to refuse an unlawful or unconstitutional order, just like the military. A clearly unconstitutional order is not a valid order, and I don't know how they're doing it or how they're framing it, but from my perspective, from Lance is a retired cop here. There's a lot of retired cops where Terry and I live. And I think almost everybody, without exception, understands that what they're doing in Portland, what they're doing in Chicago, that's wrong at a law enforcement level, at a moral level. It's wrong. And honestly, that guy that Portland arrested, he was not the primary aggressor. You could see it right there on TV, but They're going to charge him with a crime. They're going to charge him with assault, and they're going to make him pay for an attorney and take 6 months of his life and screw him over. And then they're going to drop the charges. And you know, that's their playbook. We're going to inflict as much pain as possible, and then we're going to drop the charges. But anyway, that's not our topic this morning. Our topic this morning is in light of all these recent attacks, and that's why I bring all this up. All the attacks, all the stuff in the sit rep, because last week I had somebody make a comment on the video, and they said, you're spreading a bunch of bullshit. We're not in a civil war, and there's not going to be a civil war. You're just completely doing this for clicks. And you know what? It's like every single day we see these attacks on our own soil. What does this mean? IEDs, shootings, bombings, riots, violent riots. To me, I change my mind. If you don't agree, change my mind in the comments, or you know what? Actually, I'll put this up. You can call in live, and you don't have to identify yourself. You can just call in. We'll put you on the air, and you could change my mind. But we are in the Civil War. It has started. The shooting war has started. I think we've been on that rise for quite a while. But anyway, to our actual subject. In light of all the recent attacks, the violent events in the past month, has that changed your thought process about your own preparedness, or caused you to reevaluate what's most important in your preps? And this, Jeff came up with this whole topic, and we want your involvement in this conversation. We're going to kick things off here with us. For me, I'll kick it off with mine. I see a growing instability. There's a lot of surprise attacks, and they're in more unlikely places like small towns. There's more IED attacks. That's going to become a thing. The Mormon church in Michigan there, the guy had IEDs. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. You're there, you know. The guy had IEDs. He used gasoline to start the fire, but he was prepared to do more. I think just out of chance, I think God intervened and had two cops sitting within a mile away, and that was enough to get this guy stopped before he could inflict massive damage. Hey, 4 people died. I'm not going to discount that. That's horrible. I believe, was that 4 including him, or was that 4 innocents? Jeff?
4 innocents, 4
4
plus him.
innocents. 4 plus him. I mean, that's horrible. That's horrible. But
You know, the weird thing about that is the show the day before, that happened Sunday during church, and the show the day before, we talked about that city. And I thought, man, that's just kind of freaky that we talked about Flint, Michigan on last Saturday's show. And that happened just outside of Flint, Michigan. It's a Flint suburb.
crazy. That is crazy. I mean, we've pegged this we pegged this for the last 3 weeks, and quite honestly, I'm glad to see it, but in the past day, we don't have a headline. I We do not have a headline from yesterday or today, at least, so far, of mass of an attack like that.
Right.
I mean, so I would say, like right now, the past 24 hours, there's been a lull in the attacks. And this is what I think that for the foreseeable future, this civil war is going to be, is these hit and run attacks. You're not going to see blue versus gray lining up and fighting each other. That's not the way war happens anymore. Um, I would say we're going to see the IED attacks. We're going to see more of them in the coming months and maybe years. We might see drone attacks. Who knows? Anyway, my personal thing, personal three or four things, medical. That is without a question my weak spot in my preps. I need to equip each one of my vehicles and my wife's vehicle with an IFAC. As far for the home, we need to stock up on our prescription meds. So we've got enough to get us through, let's say, 90 days of whatever kind of a shut-in situation we might have. I want to stock up on antibiotics because we're going to need those antibiotics in the event of not being able to get to quality medical care. And I need trauma tools, and Jeff will talk about trauma tools. As far as tactical, I think I'm pretty squared away when it comes to my guns and ammo. My focus now are the people around me. I'm doing firearms familiarization classes for my family and friends right now. I am a USCCA instructor, and maybe just maybe we'll get moving on some tactical training. I would love to do that. I'm also getting involved in the church's security, and I'll just leave that there. As far as comms, and I mean, this is how this whole thing started. It was comms, and you guys all know my background in comms, ham radio, and everything. But I've been talking for a long time about getting my neighbors on board with off-grid comms, GMRS and FRS, and maybe even some of these new cell-based services. I need to make that happen. I've been putting it off for way too long. And the last thing, but certainly not the least thing, is I've turned into a fat old man. I do occasional exercises. It's mainly when I'm out working in the fields and I'm doing my farming stuff, or maintenance. But I need to hold myself accountable. I gotta get my butt in gear and start working out. I gotta lose the gut. I gotta get in shape. I gotta build my cardio. Those are my things. And let's see who wants to. Which one of you guys wants to go next?
I'll let Terry go. I got a lot of show and tell.
Beautiful.
Well, I pretty much agree with everything you said, Bob. I want to go back to the Civil War thing for a sec, if I can, because it fits right in here. I
Yeah.
think people don't realize that we have pretty much always been in a civil war. It's called a spiritual war. The demonic, the evil against God and good. And what we're seeing is, instead of seeing it, somewhere else or in the heavens or just in a church or, in a certain section of town where you have more prostitutes, more crime, or more drug, we're beginning to see it come down to where we live, and it's being manifest in the riots and in the violence that we're going to see. And if we get a chance to talk more about the violence, I think that's the key thing here. The violence that we have seen so far is the preparation for the violence we're going to see a little bit further down the track. And I don't mean way down, I mean close. And we're going to see that happen because it's going to get that spiritual, demonic. Once you begin to get in that, it's kind of like taking a drug. You start with marijuana, go to something else and something else. Pretty soon you're shooting heroin or whatever. The violence excites you. It satisfies you. We're going to see more and more um, uh, people shooting from a distance, and hiding. We're going to see more and more people setting up a bomb because they're going to begin to get a euphoria from being more violent. And it's once somebody gets killed and they kill somebody, it's going to be exciting, and they're a part of that because they're standing up for what's right. Instead of realizing they are demon possessed and being stirred up. So we're going to see more of that. So what you guys were talking about is really valid, Bob. We do need the comms and our neighbors and prepared to do that. And I find myself being more aware. I was always aware. I always sit with my back to the wall and my front to the door when I'm at a restaurant or something like that. I'm paying attention. But now I'm paying a little bit more attention, when I walk down the street somewhere, or if I'm down at a store in a mall or something. I find myself browsing around and looking more to see if somebody's doesn't fit. And if they don't fit, I watch them until, I feel, okay in what they're doing. So those are kind of things I think we need to be aware of. We need to keep our eyes open and be more aware that something could happen. I mean, nobody plans on, oh, today I'm going to be at the mall and somebody's going to shoot, so I'm going to be prepared. We want to be prepared and watching and keeping our eyes open all the time. And even at church, when I'm retired pastor, so I go to a church, and even when I'm there, I keep my eyes open, watching for something that shouldn't be there. And I don't mean people wise, I mean activity wise. And that's just the way we're going to have to be from this point on. And so anyway, there's my 2 cents worth right now.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Jeff, I know you've got show and tell. You've got all kinds of stuff. You're leading this discussion. Uh-oh. Jeff?
Did he freeze?
Jeff froze. Oh, he'll be back. We'll let's see. All right. Until Jeff comes back, do we have anything? Let's see. I've got Howling Mad Z says he's moving back to the USA in a few weeks and he hopes to get some training. Haven't shot any guns in a long time. Well, you know what? Welcome back to the US. And yeah, hopefully you can get some training. Tell you what, I've been shooting for a long, long time, a firearms instructor. I wasn't a SWAT guy. I was a street cop. I did some time in detectives, but my heart was being a street cop, and I loved that. And I try to get as much training as I possibly can, all the time. It just makes sense. There's new techniques, there's new stuff, maybe I get sloppy and I don't see something that I'm doing wrong. So I don't care how experienced you are with whatever tools you're using. Maybe, just maybe, you try to get some good training. And good training is you're going to have to pay for it. It costs money.
Bob, you were talking about meds and
Mhm.
the trying to get. When I was at my doctor's appointment the last time, I asked him about getting antibiotics. I said I'd like to stock up on some antibiotics. And he's the same doctor you have. And
Mhm.
so he kind of said, "Well, I'll have to talk to my partner on that, to find out." But there are organizations that will work with you. The thing is, they're a lot more expensive to buy what you need than just getting a prescription from your own doctor. But I understand now too that ivermectin is available and should be available over the counter at your pharmacist stuff. So those are the
Right.
kind of had we had ivermectin during the so-called thing we had, um, we would have had a lot more people less sick and probably less dead than the stuff that they were doing to us. So we need to. I think that's a big one. And for me, I'm the same way as you. I have certain meds that I need, but as far as like antibiotics, that's going to be one. If you cut yourself or something like that, you
Right.
know.
Right. Okay. I'm going to put you up there and we're moving to a 2-shot right now because I don't know when
Okay.
Jeff's coming back in. If he's coming back in, maybe his whole internet just crapped out and he won't be able to. I got a text from him. Dropped internet. Yeah. Uh,
So antibiotics, I think that's a big one.
I think so too. I think that's going to become a real deal, especially as supply chains maybe dry up,
Yeah.
as things get more and more expensive. K Falls Bob um, has a link in there. TWC Health. Nice. At least add uh, a tourniquet kit to your everyday. Yeah, and that's something, I've got an old tourniquet that I had that my old department supplied.
Those are emergency kits, Bob. Emergency kit or
Okay. Hey, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Bob. Oh, you know what? I've got the wrong name on you. I need to go back over to this one here.
I'm Jeff now.
You're Jeff. It says that you are. Huh. I don't know why. Terry, take, and what does it say? I don't know why it keeps showing you as Jeff. It says in the let me do this. Go here.
Well, if you leave Jeff on there, if I say something that gets you in trouble, then he'll be the guy in trouble, not me.
Yeah. Um
AM7CC radio check.
yeah, you're loud clear. Did you have something you wanted to jump into the net with? Okay. So Howling Mad says that he has a
Oh, I'm
tourniquet.
sorry. I apologize. I don't hear the net going on. I didn't know that there was a net going on because it's not coming through on my radio. AM7CCU.
All right, no problem. We're doing the live stream portion right now on Rumble. So but you are coming in just fine. K6UDA. All right. I don't know why I can't get your name to change. It should be changing,
I
but it isn't.
wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Let's we'll do that. Idaho names.
I'm curious to see what people right now that are listening, what are they doing, and how do they feel about what's going on right now worldwide, and if they're preparing any certain way that would be informational for all of us, because we don't think of everything. We just think about the things that are dear to us. So they might have some ideas of things that we
Yeah.
might want.
Yeah. Let me just read while we're waiting for anybody to jump in on any one of our platforms. And but let me just read a couple of comments here. Gary started looking into herbals and what he can grow that has medicinal benefits. You know what? That is a great sustainable um, thing. That is a great sustainable way of. And Lance is fixed. Yes. Thank you, Lance. Thanks for the heads up there. I didn't look and I just had to kind of reboot some of the back end stuff.
Did you see
Yeah.
Howling Maze? He's in
He's in
South
South
America.
America.
Yeah.
We're all hopeful the USA gets in shape so the rest of the world does too. You know what? I agree. I sincerely hope and pray that the U.S. Uh, we get our proverbial stuff together. Um,
Also, Bob, K Falls Bob, the link that he put in, it goes to Jace. They're a medical group that you can.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I have heard of those. I've heard of those. Jace case or something. Um,
and you can
let's
buy
see.
things like you can get things there for um, like antibiotics and stuff.
Right, right. Let's see. I don't want that one. I wanted to go over to X. Find out who's all in X here. Is
You know,
anybody?
while you're looking, I was watching a documentary the other day on end time type prophecy, not biblical prophecy, but just something happened in America, and transportation was bad and metal, and one of the main characters, when he finally got located in a safe place to be, he cut his finger and hand when he was opening something with a knife, and within about, I guess, a short period of time, a month or whatever, he ended up dying because of that cut. And that's something that we need to consider, that we're so used to being able to just call the doctor and go down and get a tetanus shot or do this or do that. And if the poop hits the fan, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have stuff stored up.
Yeah, a simple cut on your finger could kill you. If it gets infected and you don't have access to medical um, because of either a temporary or a more permanent kind of a stoppage or outage or event, uh, you could die just from a cut on your finger. Let's see. Jeff is saying, sorry, all. He's on the phone only now. So, Jeff, uh, you can call in if you want. And let's see. I'll put the call in live number back up. Kind of call in and you could do it over the phone. KI7 CDG. They use herbals and they're focusing on growing food without chemicals, so our bodies need less medicine, and that is a fantastic. That's a fantastic thing. We did not do a huge garden this year. Normally we do a pretty good sized garden with a lot of different stuff, and my wife runs that. Um, she's got the green thumb. I don't. and she really wasn't very motivated this year. So we didn't have a big garden. We've got some tomatoes, a few peppers, a few things, but nothing substantial this year. Hopefully next year, maybe we're a little more prepared and we're a little more on the ball with that because yeah, the herbal thing, being able to do things I know herbally, controlling my blood sugar, cholesterol, all that. Uh, Need Wi-Fi calling. No internet, no Wi-Fi. Wow. So you see, Jeff right now is kind of cut off. And I don't even know if he can fire up his radio and jump in like that. Let's see.
There it goes.
Oh, it's a political call.
Wow.
Let's just see. Hi, caller, you're on the air. This is Bob. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We're doing something else, so you're gonna have to call back later. Thank you. All right. It said political call, but who knows? Who knows? Let's see. We got David Workman on the YouTube side. Said, let me put it up there. Said his garden did bad this year. See, that's the one thing YouTube or Ecamm has got with YouTube, and they've got this stuff dialed in. I can put up the comments and I can add them right into the live stream. I just wish we could do more with Rumble. I wish Rumble would invest in some of those or working with some of these other companies and getting some of that done. Terry, what else you got?
I was thinking about something a minute ago, and then I got distracted. So give me a minute to think it back again.
Okay.
One of the things, you and I talk quite a bit about stuff. So one of the things that I want people to be aware of is that what we're seeing here. I'm going to go biblical here for a minute. So those that are Christians, hopefully you'll receive some of this, and those of you that may not be believers at all, just watch what happens and see if I'm right or wrong. After studying this for 40 years and watching it develop, the Bible talks about in Matthew 24 that Jesus is giving us a prelude of what is going to be lining up. We call that the birth pangs. And there's two things about Matthew 24. One is we're seeing what's leading up to when the beginning of the tribulation, but also when you look at Matthew 24, you're getting an example of what's going to happen during the period of tribulation. But one of the things the Bible speaks clearly is that uh, when you see all these things happening that has been prophesied, all these things happen, he says that this generation will not pass away before the tribulation and all that. And we're seeing all these things happening, and we're seeing them happen fast and quick. A lot of us that study it, we almost can't keep up with it anymore. The stuff that's happening. So I want people to be aware that it's going to get more dastardly out there. It's going to get more dangerous, and we need to be prepared for what we're going to see. The example, for example, Facebook just cutting off people, just like one of the fellows said earlier. Expect more of that. Those that are against us, they have no qualms with just doing what they want to do, regardless of whether it's legal or not. They know that the enemy is going to have people in the judges, and they're going to stand with them, and all of that stuff. So they're going to try to quiet down, shut up those that are on the conservative side, especially Christians who are standing up and telling people what's about to happen, especially the digital stuff, especially the things that we're going to see where people will be able to track us everywhere and anywhere. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. The things that I believe happening, I've seen happen. I've watched it. I knew it was going to happen based on what Scripture said, and now we're seeing it's all come to pass, just like Scripture said. And so the things that, again, the biggest thing that we need is to make sure you have your life right with God, and because regardless of what happens, you'll be in good shape at the end. But it's going to happen. We're going to see more wars. We're going to see more violence. You know, when you're talking about the four horsemen of the apocalypse, the second horseman is a red horse, and he brings war and violence. And are you ready for this? And murder. He talks that the world will be killing each other. I don't mean in war. I mean shooting, killing, rioting, stealing, everything. There's going to be more violence, and people because people's hearts are going to be that spirit of violence that we've talked about. And so we need to be aware that this stuff is happening, and it's going to happen. And no, I'm not some crazy loony out there. Well, I may be a crazy loony out there, but what I'm saying is right, because it's based on Scripture, which is coming to pass. So the whole purpose for what I just said was start to be cautious, start to watch for more violence, be aware that you can get sucked into it if you're not set right in your heart, and just be ready for what you can do, and tell other people how to get prepared. You know, your neighbors, and like Bob really focuses on. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. A couple of comments in here from Howling Mad Z. Man, dude, thank you for being being part of the net. He says a lot of stream programs specifically don't support Rumble on purpose, and I get that, and I think Ecamm is one of them. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do, or yeah, there's not much I can do about what I use. I'm on a Mac, um, and I'm not super technical, so it's tough for me to use some of the other multiple layered tools to put out a live stream like this. And he's also worried about his little kids. I'm worried about your little kids too. I'm worried about my grandkids. I've got grandkids from 18 to um, to 1, and it's bad. I feel bad for them because what they're going to grow up in, if they are if they make it, is
It'd be nice to get a response from him to see what it is he's worried about for his kids. Are they in elementary school, high school, college, whatever? If they're in a public school, he needs to definitely be aware of what they're being taught, and if they can, if they need to, get them out of the school, get them in homeschooling or a place where a Christian schooling or something, and be aware of that because he's right, and have the children prepared um, in their own spiritual life, you know. But get them out of school. If, like you say, colleges now are disastrous. Even seminaries
yeah.
nowadays. You know, you go to get trained up in your biblical studies for ministers. Um, I wouldn't go to one now. There's just too many of them are woke and corrupt, and not interested in that. So
That's
we are surrounded.
Man, that is horrible. Yeah, he says his kids are 4, 6, and 9.
Oh,
They were
yeah,
in Christian school in South America, but just the other kids around them are pretty horrible.
yeah. And
Yeah,
that's in a Christian school too in South America.
yeah, yeah. But again, he's in South America, and we don't know the culture there.
Yeah.
Well, we've heard of some of the culture there, and I don't know what country. Don't know what country you're in. Maybe you just don't even want to put that out there, and I don't blame you. Um, but hopefully we'll come back to the US fairly soon. Glad to have you. Man, I don't see. I feel that things were better, but while these things are continuing to happen in the world, we need to show up. We need to probably shore up our preps. This is from Jeff. Yeah, we do. We this is the time, guys. If you haven't started prepping, if you're just thinking about it right now, this is the time to make a list and start thinking about what you want to what do you want to focus on? Is it food, water, and a stable shelter? Is it guns and ammo? Is it whatever? I mean, for me, it is building that community because I know for a fact that I can't do it by myself. I can't, you can't be an island when bad stuff happens. When crap hits the fan, and I'm trying to watch my language. Pastor Terry gets on me about this. When you just can't do it on your own. You can't stand guard duty 24 hours a day. You can't till the fields all by yourself. Nothing can get done, and you won't last if you're an island.
You know, I'd be interested, Bob, to know what the folks that are listening, what have they done around their house as security measures, lights, alarms, locks, what? If maybe they could mention that. Maybe you could give some thoughts and ideas on what you've done
Yeah,
or what I've
yeah. Let me get to a couple of the comments here. Do you have comments up on your end?
I do. I do.
Okay. So you could kind of look in there. Yes, for me, for Jeff. Jeff is picking up on things that he's light on. And man, I wished his internet was up. I don't know why it's off, but he had just bought a bunch of stuff on Temu, and he was showing me ace bandage wraps for uh, super cheap. It's like there's a horse wrap stuff that goes over like ace bandages that they'll send you home from the hospital in. Gauze wraps, safety equipment like fire blankets. He got a pack of fire blankets for next to nothing. I mean, a whole big bag. Temu, guys. Temu. Maybe Jeff can put some prices of what these things are, and maybe we'll do a show with Temu shopping for prepping. Howling Mad Z, thank you for watching your language, because you were at least. I let my eldest watch beside me. All right, hey, thank you, and that's good that you're not completely shielding. I would say, this is probably not a show that you want to have little tiny kids watching, just because the subject matter is so dark sometimes that we do, even when it's really not dark like this. It's not uplifting stuff. I mean, we're trying to educate people. I want to educate you guys, and I want you to educate me. But it's tough stuff to have to deal with all the time. I mean, it's tough for adults to have to deal with all the violence that's going on day after day after day. I mean, that's what it's like, when you're a first responder. It's you go from sitting in your car eating lunch to a homicide. or a home invasion robbery. And when you're done with that one, now you go to some other tragedy, a fatal traffic accident. And it's just, you just see tragedy upon tragedy upon tragedy every day. It toughens you up. It definitely toughens you up.
And wears
Uh,
you out.
and it wears you out spiritually. It wears on you. Uh,
Let me give one thing that I've done around the house, if it's okay.
okay.
Um, I bought these little lights on Amazon that they're just little small things. Like, I don't know, where's my camera over here. Small things like this, and they have a solar battery on top, and they're lights. And what happens is when you walk through it, it sees it and goes on. And so I have those placed because I'm right on a corner, and I have those placed on my fence, and over I have a blind spot on the other side where I do have one camera facing, but it's a pretty small blind spot. So I have those lights. So if somebody is out there and they walk past it, the light comes on.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has these little beepers that you can put on your fence or someplace that when the car pulls in or when you walk by it, it goes beep. And I was able to buy, I think, one, two, I think I got four of them. And so when they beep, they have a certain beep, so I know where that's at. So I have those again on the fence and in my blind spot. So if somebody walks by, it'll go beep, beep, beep. I know somebody is over on the other side where they shouldn't be.
Oh,
And
that's
so
interesting. Does
yeah,
that
they
it
just
now? Does that have the receivers in the house where you can hear
yeah,
it? Oh,
yeah. And you can turn it on, off. You can so sometimes when my sprinklers are on, my one spot always wants to beep. So I turn it off because it's always
right.
beeping. But other than that, it helps me be confident that there's nobody out there wandering around when they shouldn't be because I can't see it at night. Plus, I put these little lights. I was able to buy them again on Amazon. I think I got four of them for like $25. Just they're basic little lights that come on your yard. When somebody passes by.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them spread out around the back. So if somebody wanders by it, beep, the light goes on. And
Battery
so
operated or are they plug in?
yeah, uh, it's solar operated.
Oh, solar
So
operated. See,
yeah,
that's awesome.
and that really helps. That's just a little bit. Now I do have an alarm in the house and cameras on all my corners,
Mm-hmm.
just where I can see all around the house. But those little things right there, and none of that's expensive. Um, well, the cameras cost probably the most expensive thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
they were I think they're what are they? I can't remember the brand. There might be Ring cameras, but anyway, that's the most expensive. Everything else just costs just bucks, here and there, and
Right.
they work really well. And so
Yeah.
that's good. And just one more thing on the profanity stuff. There's channels and YouTube guys that I would like to watch. There, a lot of them, especially the ones that have shooting and guns and stuff like that. I like those. And sometimes would like to watch it. I know they have some good characters, but every other word is F this, F this, F this. I can't handle that. If one slips out every once in a while, that's one thing. But when that's their go-to word, it's just. And the sad thing is that most people, or a lot of people, don't seem to doesn't seem to
Well,
care.
people get desensitized to it. I get desensitized. I have been desensitized. I mean, I didn't, and now I knew when to clean up my vocabulary, and and I always kind of figured, well, who cares here? But yeah, evidently, people do care, and maybe I'm trying to be a better man. A couple of comments here in the comments section. Um, uh, Jeff says he's sorry. He was pumped up about this, and he was, man. He showed us. He showed us some of his stash that he's just gotten off of Timu. Um, and he says it's not all junk. 4 fire blankets for $10, guys. $10 for fire blankets. KI7 CDG. He says motion lights, like you said. Dogs for alert. I want to get another dog because they are a great burglar alarm. My wife won't let me because we don't have a fenced yard. We live in the middle of the country, and and we got a big yard. Um, let's see. Training on medical though. The wife and I have been EMTs. Daughter who is local, current EMT firefighter, and a son who's a firefighter. Good for you. Good on that for the medical. I kind of rely here on the fact that my next door neighbor is a doctor, and so and that's been for years. My next door neighbor when I was in California was a doctor, so I've kind of relied on them, which I guess I shouldn't. I need to get up on it myself. Um, everyone training with weapons that they have and being aware of what's going on locally as well as regionally. Yeah, KI7 CDG. Good points. Training with the tools that you have, um, and not burying your head in the sand. I am. I mean, I'm kind of a news and information junkie, I guess, but I learn about a lot of things fairly quickly. There's a lot of things that I don't. K Falls Bob, anti profanity app. uh, that's funny. And KD8IOK, I have cameras around both houses. Pay the membership, but it's cheap insurance when we're away. Yes, I do ring cameras. I got ring cameras on all four corners of my house. Um, I'm always looking, where can I strategically add a camera? And I'll probably I've got a few ideas for more. The ring cameras are a little expensive. I pay the membership or pay the subscription fee, I guess it is. And it's cheap insurance, it's peace of mind. Um, the problem is if the internet goes down, the the ability of the cameras kind of goes away. I would like to do a camera that I can control. I've got a NAS here, network attached storage, which gives me the ability to store, well, let's see, right now up to 40 terabytes, 40 something terabytes of information. Uh, I've got mine set up as a RAID. So I've only got 20 terabytes of information that I could put on it because it's a 2 slot deal. K Falls Bob. Okay, thanks. Look like they grew a lot since the last time he's checked them out. Outstanding. Yeah. Like Jeff was saying in his last comment, um, the ring cameras, they work great until your internet goes down. Now I have regular internet because I need it fast because I'm uploading videos all the time. I also have Starlink that I keep as a backup, and I keep an active subscription to Starlink. And if for some reason the terrestrial internet went down for an extended period or went down, I can fire up the Starlink and put all my important stuff back up online or get it working a little bit. Man, good. There's some good information out here. Um,
Bob, another area that we want to not forget is the home, some of the homegrown and some of those that have come in illegally uh, that are willing to do and ready to do violence, um, terrorists, basically.
Yeah.
And the, some of them are going to get, they are going to get more and more violent, especially for what's going on over in Israel. And I don't know if the Hamas is going to go along with the last plan that Trump has or not.
I guess they shot it down yesterday.
And that's what, and really, that's, let me share this. That's what they were expecting and want, and basically kind of wanting, well, not wanting, but expecting, because now it appears that Israel, or it shows that Israel is trying to do everything they can to bring peace, but it's Hamas that doesn't want peace. And everybody that really knows what's going on understands that Hamas is not interested in peace. They're not interested in a two-state solution. They want only one thing, and they want every Jew dead, and they want all of Israel for themselves. That's it. And so they're not going to have peace. But now it opens the door for Israel to go in and finish it off, which they should have done over in Iran. Trump shouldn't have got in the way, let them finish it off, and let there be a change over there and a leadership change. And because Iran, the people are still under their Iran's thumbnail anyway. So it's, this is something we need to be aware of. It's going to happen more. And you and I have gone around. I like that EMP shield, and you were never really interested in that, but I think that's could be something that we.
At this point, I've got a lot of my preps taken care of, and maybe I'll just spring for it, buy it, be done, and I've got it. If it doesn't work, uh, oh well. I mean, it isn't that expensive. I've always had this thing about I want something that is proven, and there's no way to prove that in the real world. They could put up all the tests that they want, but nobody can replicate a weapons grade EMP.
and 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 that's, obviously the military is buying stuff from them, so they feel confident. But the big thing is, just like you said, if it doesn't work, you're out $400. If it
Yeah.
does work, you'll have a car. Otherwise, your car may be parked on the freeway 100 miles from home, and you'll never see it again.
Here, and you bring up a funny thing or ironic. If you're 100 miles from home, say you're 100 miles from your house, and the EMP goes off, and for whatever reason your car is still working. EMP shield, it's a 1968 Rambler,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
The chances of you being able to move that 100 miles on the freeway are pretty slim. Now, this is why I drive a Jeep. This is why I like four-wheel drives with high clearance, because at that point, for at least part of a journey like that, if my car is still running, if my vehicle's still running, I can do some of that off road. I could keep moving, even if I'm moving at 5 or 10 miles an hour. I'm still moving forward, and I'm not
And
doing it on my feet.
and hopefully you won't be necessarily on a freeway. A freeway, if you're in town like in LA or something like that, well, forget it. It's not going to help. You're going to be stuck in a parking lot. But if you're out of town, you may have a clearance to get there, and if you might have to get off the road onto side and back roads to get home. But at least you have an option and a chance. Someone like me, if I was 100 miles, even if I was up, Sun Valley up there and enjoying the day and it pooped down, for me to walk all the way home isn't going to happen. I'm just getting too old to handle that kind of time on the road with my legs. But but at least I have a shot at it. At least I have a better chance at it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like all the other preps. I have a generator. I have solar generators, and And I'm not scared or worried. I prep because, you know, if I'm still around, I believe in a thing we call the rapture. But if I'm still around when this things start happening in our country, like it is in other countries, at least I'm prepared, you know. And if I don't ever need it, well, praise God, you know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I would have spent that money on something
Well,
else, like a new gun.
you know what? I want to get to a comment here real quick. Good to revive old skills of food preservation and storage. Hey, you know what? Salting meat, um, drying vegetables, good skills to have. And that's kind of where I'm at now is I I need to build on my skill sets to keep me self-sufficient and maybe teach my neighbors and friends when the time comes so we can we can make it through whatever thing happens. And Terry, you and I have talked about this many times. um the the tribulation is coming. There will be, and the tribulation is what the is it called great troubles or something?
Well, you know, the tribulation is basically the wrath of God on the world that has rejected God. People that people that are believers, we believe there's now different viewpoints on this, and I won't get into any of those. I believe in what we call a pre-tribulation rapture, and after studying this for 40 years, I'm confident that that is what's going to happen. And there are those that reject that. That's fine. This is not the John Ray to discuss that. But between now and the rapture, there's going to be tribulation. People say, well, you Christians, you just want to run away and you expect to get away from tribulation. But, you know, we all should have what? You know, we're talking about tribulation. That is when man comes against man, when Satan comes and dumps against us, and war and violence and murder and rape and robbery and all that's tribulation. And when Christians are being persecuted, that's tribulation. In other countries right now, 100,000 Christians a year are being murdered, you know, and that's tribulation. But the
Hmm.
tribulation period, the 7 year period, is not tribulation, it is the wrath of God. So, yeah, I'm going to expect to have tribulation until I die or go to heaven. But the wrath of God is when God brings his wrath against those that have rejected him and continues to reject them. That's the wrath. So, you and I, as believers, God's not going to bring his wrath upon you and me. We're believers. You know, it's just like beating your wife because, you know, just for the fun of it, you know, we don't do that. And why would Jesus beat the bride when we're following him and honoring him and obeying him and seeking his face? We wouldn't do it. It's the whole different thing. So it's going to be a nasty period of 7 years. We don't know when it's going to happen. Of course, there are people on YouTube that think they do, and every year they say, "Well, it's going to happen now." The trumpets and da 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 da. And every time somebody asks me, "Is it going to happen on the 23rd this year of September?" I say, "No, we're not going to know what's going to happen. When it happens, it happens. God only." So
It
anyway,
says right there in the Bible that it's not for us to know when this is going to happen.
right. We'll know the seasons. And he says that you know the seasons. You know, it's just like we right now know that fall is coming because the weather's changing and everything. But we know the seasons because we're watching Matthew 24 come together in its fullness, and we know that it's going to be soon. It has to be soon. You know, now how soon? Who knows? But only God knows. But we can sense in our spirit. For years, I've been teaching this, and I would honestly say it's going to happen, but I don't sense it happening now. Things just don't fit. And now I say it can happen at any time if everything fits. And
I think the only two things that aren't there, and guys, I'm sorry if you don't believe in this stuff, but I do, and it's my show. um, we don't have the one world money yet, or the one world government, and the the building or the rebuilding of the third temple hasn't occurred. And I thought those two things needed to happen. Not an expert by any
Yeah.
means.
The temple that you're talking about will be built after we're gone, and it'll be built within probably the first 3 years, and I don't think it'll take that long. And the Antichrist will approve it and all that, and it's not until the middle of the tribulation when he comes into the temple and says, "Hey, worship me, I'm God," and that's when the Jews say, "No, nah, that's not going to happen," and that's when the poop really hits the fan. And so the last 3 years are going to be worse than the first 3 years, but the first 3 years are still going to be terrible. You know, there's going to be violence, there's going to be murder, there's going to be earthquakes, there's going to, you name it. And so, leading up to the middle, where we have what we call the mark of the beast, and they're already preparing for the mark. That's what they're doing, getting that ready. It's all set, just about. And but they've got 3 years to perfect it. They only need it in the middle of the tribulation. But
Okay.
and there's a whole bunch. I mean, like I said, I've been teaching this for a long time, and as you know, you've been in my Bible study where I taught on tribulation. We went through it in a year and we still weren't done talking about the book of Revelation and Daniel, and Zechariah, and all these things.
And my
So,
thick head, I still don't get it.
well, I've got a thick head too, and it's taken me a long time to get it. So,
Yeah.
and, yeah. So,
well, let's see. I think, well, do we have any other comments from any one of our platforms? The X, YouTube, Rumble. I think if not, we'll put this one to bed. It's been let's see, yeah, it's been an hour. It's been a good hour. Looks like everything's kind of slowing down, shutting down there. Let's see. Clicking on some of these links in here. Good links in the comments today, guys. TWC Health Products, Emergency Preparedness, Medical Emergency Kit from the Wellness Company. Oops. And then it was gone. $300. And that is full of meds. See, that's something that would be very, very helpful, is to have all those antibiotics, everything on hand, ready to go. Colder Days, Jace Medical, there's a whole kit for $289. UTI, I think that's a parasites. Man, they got all kinds of cool stuff. I'm just kind of looking at some of these things, guys, and I want to thank K Falls Bob for putting those links in there. Howling Mad says, thanks for the stream. Any suggestion for long-term food supplies? You know what? I stay away from, for the price, I would say stay away from my live chat quit scrolling 45 minutes ago. Oh, on Fire Guy on YouTube. It should be working. It should be working.
hey, Bob, something,
Yeah.
Bob, we should bring up. And I think you have a bunch of books. I have a lot of stuff on my iPads because my eyes aren't as good as they used to, and it's hard for me to read books anymore, which I hate because I love reading. Um, but some of the meds and some of the things that we want to have available, um, you can get in some good books that aren't made by somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about, and especially things like leaves and bushes and weeds and stuff you can put together to put on your cut that would help you. What do you call
Mm-hmm.
that? And and other things like that that are good information for food and or for health and healing if you have a problem, and all these things that maybe we should one day bring up and give names of the books that are good. Um,
Boy, you know who was an expert in that was Pamela, and she hasn't been on the net for quite a while, but man, what a wealth of information that woman was or is. Um, I'll send her a message. Maybe she can get on YouTube. But man, what a wealth of information. She just
or maybe
really
she could at least
with the
maybe she
books.
could at least send a list to you.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll do it on some books on the holistic medicine and healing stuff because
Yeah.
that seems to be I mean, and like I said, that the knowledge, I've gone through the first responder medical classes and CPR and everything, but honestly, that's really my weak spot is medical, and and it needs to I need to change that. I need to work on what I'm weak in. Let's see. Howling Mads, he says he has a lot of survival books, but just hoped there was some prepared stuff for people just arriving in the US with no time. Um, Howling Madsy, when you get back into the US, I'm going to give you, if you want to get stuff quickly, and you want to be able to stock up pretty quickly, number 10 cans of, they're the larger cans of stuff. Um, what is it? Providence Pantry is good. Alpine Air is good stuff. And you can get some of this stuff at Walmart. Walmart in their bulk section of their grocery stores will have they have a whole section of like prepper food and stuff and tools. Don't discount that. It's got a fair price, and it's generally pretty good stuff. I mean, I have it. We've opened up a few cans of it. I have some cans put away. If I go to Walmart, I might buy a can of something, a can of say apples, freeze dried apples, or berries, or
Bananas, they're really good.
bananas, eggs. The powdered eggs would be really good. You want to get there's stuff called ghee, ghee. It's like clarified butter, but you can buy it at Costco. Costco has it now, and it is storable butter, and it'll last for like, I don't know, 20 or 25 years if it's not opened up. And I don't know if you need to refrigerate it once you open up a jar of it or not. It might be just kind of like canned stuff if you've done pressure canning at all. Um, Man, there's so much, and you know what? Maybe we just need to get back and talk about some of these basic things that always seems to that always seems to be an important deal for everybody. I mean, it is. It's absolutely an important deal. Um, I think this week I'll take a look at some books. We'll take a look at a few things. Please, if you have a subject that you would like covered, um, if you have a question about anything in the preparedness world, in the tactical world, whatever, leave it in the comments. I will get it, and we'll do it. Because there's only so much I can come up with, and I'm pretty well, I think everybody's like me and has whatever they need to have kind of dialed in, except for a few things. And so I tend to go, well, we covered this, a year ago. Maybe we need to cover it every week. I don't know. Um, we've covered books before, and maybe we need to cover books again. Maybe we need to go through some things, get back to the basics again. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. Terry, thank you for sitting second chair. Jeff, thank you for trying to sit second chair until your internet caved in. Um, I want to thank Howling Mad Z for being a huge part of today's program. Thank you. K Falls Bob, CDG, who participated in there. Gary Gone O'Ray, greetings from Phoenix, Arizona. Everybody who's been in here and contributed to the conversation. Cigar Dan. You don't know how much it means to me to have somebody who's listening to the conversation. I don't know. Any final thoughts, Terry?
I was just looking up. I have a bunch of books that the gal that's in our ham club. I can't remember her name, but she had a lot of that stuff. Very much into that. And I found the list that she sent me. I'm going to text it to you right now so you can have it for checking to see what we want to bring up next week.
Okay. All right.
But
Sounds
anyway,
good.
goodbye to the guys. Goodbye to
All right.
everybody.
We'll see you all next week. Jeff won't be here. I don't know if Terry will be here, but I'll be here at least next week. And you guys have a safe week. Have a great week. And remember your ABCs. Always be carrying.
Oh, hey, there's one other thing. Did you hear about the change in the law for post office carry?
I did. And I didn't
That's
bring it
something
up. Oh, yeah. If you guys haven't heard, you can now legally carry in the post office. The signs had come down. I know here in Twin Falls, the signs had come down a long time ago, but we were still led to believe that the rule was in full force and effect, that you couldn't carry inside of a post office or on the property. That has been struck down at the appellate court level. And I don't believe the federal government is going to fight it. So I believe now that you are good to go pick up your mail, do your business at the post office, and you don't have to disarm yourself unless you're in California. Okay. With that, guys, I will catch you next week. Again, uh, safe, safe travels, safe life, and always be caring.